Right. A lot of applications don't have to use this feature, but you can start and stop the jack over here by setting its state to rolling or not rolling. So in this demonstration, the little graph behind the image that's moving around that shows the signal that it's getting. It's getting a little bit of zero signal for some reason when there's no input. But yeah, the actual image application sort of moves the tiles of the image. Moves the tiles of the image around depending on some sort of imaginary force between each tile, which is multiplied by the loudness. So as you change the loudness, it sort of moves them around a bit differently. Depending on frequency, it displaces them instantaneously in a different direction depending on their color. So bright ones go horizontally and dark ones go vertically. So you can do much more interesting things, I guess, if you have some ideas. Speed the whole thing up and you can go ahead and say run a sort of musical thing. Yeah. I can keep doing that for ages and ages, and you'll see some of that later on in the performance of this, at least the sound part. That's showing an example. So you gotta do it, that's something, as you saw with the little drum, you have to sort of start it in the right order, and that's what I did wrong. I think I had started the application before I started the jack pipes rolling, and then it gets a little deadlocked for some reason. I haven't quite figured that out, so I think you experts might enlighten me how to do that without causing me to do that. That'd be great. Yeah. You can work it all. If I couldn't get it to work at all, I had to back up skill slide. Right, so some things that we might try to do is to improve the frequency analysis mathematically. Use more than one of the input ports so you can do different things at different times. Ollie was working on creating a built-in library for processing that would make use of it. So you wouldn't have to import the code to the client. It would just be available as a library. That's underway, I guess. The source code is hosted at the Go210 source code server, which if you were here for the earlier talk, then Sean was mentioning.
Which no one viewer.
But it's at this location here, develop.go210.org. And it's the update here. I created this launcher, which is a very minimum GUI. Make it stop, yes. Right, so you could incorporate this into a menu system, so you wouldn't have to type the command line. It opens a little tiny GUI window, which you can choose the internet port number, TCP port number. So you can't see it. So here we go. All right, and you have the option to launch or quit. So you can launch one on any port number, and that's running. There's been a couple of them over here now, so you can have several of them going on different TCP ports. As long as your application can then, as long as you can specify a port and use a range of ports that your system will allow, then you're all set. You can have several of them doing different things. Actually, quitting that doesn't actually quit the server. That's just a launcher. It launches a completely separate program. So it doesn't, they're all independent. So. All right, any questions, comments, or criticisms?
It was for Ollie that you developed this? No.
It was originally, yeah. Ollie and Chad were using Sonia library.
It's Plus open source.
Sorry?
Plus?
I'm not familiar with it.
It's Plus is sound information like this one, like this I'm using Plus from ISO to Flash. I'm sure Plus is pure data.
So then you pass it into processing.
I'm choosing it.
Well, perhaps I wasn't familiar with it, so you can also, since there's also there is
sorry, it says open source music data. So yeah, it's similar.
It probably does a lot more, I would guess, because this does absolutely minimal. So it's sort of, I guess, the philosophy of absolute minimal programming. It only does exactly that one thing. And a lot of these other things do a lot more, but sometimes the downside is that then they have like more dependencies and they take up more resources. But I don't know, there's more than one tool out there, and that's the beauty of open source. You can just pick and choose, right? Because there's a full dropper library for Jack in Java called Java Jack, and I'm sure if you know what you're doing, you can access that from within processing, and then open Jack ports directly and do whatever you want with the data within your processing application. But maybe that's like more complicated. If you're not a low-level programmer, then you might prefer not to do that. Or you could do something with OSC.
That's what Plus does. So I can't remember the FL standard. It's FL.
Yes, it's open sound control. It's really intended. That's OSC is not really intended to send data. And I think there's some issues when you get like these big packets. Maybe not, maybe it works, but it's sort of designed as open sound control. So, when you move some sliders, they tell you the positions of the sliders into your software, something like that. that seemed like a sort of unintended use of trying to send like big packets of data. Also, I did want to put the frequency transform out of the processing client because it is slow if you do it inside processing. So I was writing a little C program to do that and do it a bit faster. You can do that and then send something over the OSC. It seemed a little complicated.
I think using Jack in the fields and multiple instances of it is really important because somebody was asking me a few weeks ago about doing visuals for a band that he'd mic up each instrument and have a separate analysis for each instrument rather than one sort of set of visuals. And you can do that with this.
Yeah. Well, I presume that this other one, this Flosk, would also use Jack, I would guess. If it's running on Linux and used by music people.
Are you on the internet?
No. But yeah, it can be looked up. But in any case, yes, that was the ability, as you point out, to be able to hook it up to a Jack server, which virtually is becoming more and more popular. To use that to, have multiple applications producing and consuming sound. Made it a lot easier to get along with everybody else's like Fluxus or whatever applications that use Jack. And back to the OpenLab thing, it was Dave who convinced me to start using Jack. So instead of other ways of getting sound to the speaker, because it is very flexible. And we will use that. Yes, ensure Jack is rolling. Most applications seem to actually not use the rolling function, and I started off by using it, so now the applications use it, which is good because you can stop it with the stop button on the Q Jack control, and it actually stops, but it seems like a lot of people forget that option even exists on the Jack. So they're going, why doesn't it work? So I might make the default be rolling to start it rolling, even if it isn't, and then you can still stop it, something like that. Any more? Okay, thank you. Performing with the sequencer and with Jag doing his gin, but actually somebody else will be doing visuals. Evan will be doing visuals, and he'll be doing it live, so we'll actually be using that specific piece of software for that performance. So, but they're using that sequencer for saying.
Only it's not playing too. Only it's not playing too. Otherwise, you'll be using that.
So you saw, if you saw the previous presentation, then you saw the clip of Shannon Ollie using it. Right? Who's next?
Can I